I'm a freelance photojournalist. Besides photography, I have a big passion for quantum physics. And I also like to tell stories about possibilities. Renee was waiting for me to bring me to the airport. She's a very nice friend of mine. In an unpredictable way, that morning, I met Kristin, a friend of Renee. She was going to the airport as well. And surprisingly, we found out that we are going to be on the same flight. She shared that her father was a professional photographer. Even today, she still follows the things that he used to say to her when she was young. It is just a matter of putting everything and everyone in the right light. I had no idea that this was the beginning of my new story.
I'm growing up here in a family where my father, my grandfather, my uncle, my aunts, everyone were photographers, and also me, the first job I had was to work in the photography shop. And also a family focus, a family consciousness of, it's not like a traditional beauty necessarily, but where you see the person, how, they come out the right way.
She is such an interesting woman. She's the president of an international organization, the WIN Conference. And I didn't know anything about WIN.
Oh yeah, then it's like a party. It's a big party, and it's a combination between a party and a school. Yeah, it's a place where you learn about other people's stories, and it's a place where you can share your story with others that are there to listen.
The light on this land is special. It's very dark in winter and it's very bright in the summer. She was saying that with the right light, you can not only be seen from others in a different way, you can also see yourself differently.
It's a matter of putting them in the right light. It's a matter of giving them the right chance to express their gift to the world somehow. I grew up with freedom of choice, and it took me some time to realize that that was not the case of everybody, especially not all women. And I wonder, what can we do to bring everyone up?
Alexanderplatz. Dieser Zug endet hier. Übergang zum Regionalverkehr zur S-Bahn mit Verbindung zum Hauptbahnhof.
I've been following Kristin in Prague, Tokyo, Norway, and I also have been at her office in Switzerland where she's based. And now I am in Berlin for the next Global WIN Conference. I had the chance to see the very beginning of the build-up of this event. And I wonder, how did she start all that?
I was been working for several years in marketing, and I was working in a big bank. And I remember thinking that it was so hierarchical, and it was somehow difficult as a young person to do all the things I wanted to do, and I had many ideas and so on. And parallel to that, I had been very active in a local women's network, the Professional Women's Network in Milano. And I worked with many women from all over the world, and this was my community, my family, and we had so much fun. And I thought, wow, what if I can get more women together from other countries, and we can discuss how to make the world a better place.
So we started very little, few women, but since the beginning, coming from all over the world. And then we started to grow, always having the courage, as I mentioned, to put together women issues and business issues. That's very difficult.
I met Kristin at a conference in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta, a little fishing village, back in, I think it must have been 95 or 96. And it was on business and consciousness. And I think I gave a workshop there, and Kristin went to the workshop. And afterwards, we just talked quite a lot. And then she said, you know what? I think I've had an idea. I think I want to create a conference back in Europe.
I want it to be the best conference in Europe for women, and maybe in 5 years' time I'll be ready to do it. And we said, no, it can't be in 5 years' time, you have to do it now. And she said, well, I can't just do it now. We said, of course you can, you have to do it.
And then she did, yeah.
It was the discovery of shared interests, shared passions, shared ideas, a solidarity of energy and vision, I would say, among smart, empathetic, engaged women who wanted to change the world.
I know from photography how important the structure is in an image. And Kristin shared with me the different elements that create the structure that supports her vision and makes her proposal concrete.
Already at the beginning I said, this event, in everything we do, it has to be international. And then another pillar is a focus on, is a systemic approach. So in the design of the conference program, in how we put together the speeches and the questions and so on, is with a focus on the fact that everything is connected. And another pillar is that also of the understanding of wholeness, in the sense we are focusing a lot on the feminine values, the feminine qualities of, we can call them integral qualities also, but that of compassion, of passion, of collaboration, of using our empathy. The development of WIN has been and still is an inner and an outer journey, as well as a collective and individual one. After many years of working with companies, women in decision making, I feel we are in the middle of some exciting revolution. A more collaborative way is emerging, and we can now make leaps of change, creating a new future together, bringing the qualities of the feminine as integrated leaders.
We took our brother's car and we went on to the Atlantic Road, along the ocean. In this place light changes almost constantly, and the nature is so powerful. She shared how her mother welcomed people of different backgrounds to their house. Inclusion, she says, is a matter of being open and to deeply care. Growing up here with all these bridges, Kristin had a natural introduction to the meaning of what connection is.
By connecting, well, we create context from where we can create the future. And I experience that when I'm well connected to myself, to my intuition and to others, I feel so much more safe inside, and it becomes easier to take risk. Networking is in the core of WIN. WIN is Women International Networking, and creating community, creating a network, which we can call it like a working net, a community of support. I like the concept that WIN, that I can meet people from Africa and India and Japan, find common ground, grow together, and for me that has something to do with evolving.
I like the way she sees the possibility to evolve by meeting and networking with others from different cultures.
If we are to evolve, we need each other. I feel that we can only grow in the meeting with others. I can probably only see myself in the mirror of the other, and that's why I like so much the fact that at WIN we meet for 3 days physically and we stay together. Yeah.
And after 4, we do 1 bass in the middle. Here we go. 1, 2, and 4, and 4, and 4, and 4. Good. And 4, 3, and 4, and 4, and 4. Double time. WIN has been running for nearly 2 decades. 2 decades. It's an amazing achievement and accomplishment. And we're very fortunate and privileged because we've been a part of WIN for 1 decade. I feel quite well placed to be able to say that WIN is not really about women. What WIN is really about is embracing the feminine that exists really in all of us. Her roots are Norwegian, but what she does is travel the world, the 4 corners of the earth, really dedicated to her mission of respect, diversity, and inclusion. So it's a huge, huge honor to welcome on stage Kristin Engvig. Please.
It was really interesting to listen to those words all together. Respect, diversity, and inclusion.
I know. Thank you, Doug. That was very nice introduction.
Thank you.
It is very nice for me now, personally, to welcome you to the 17th Global WIN Conference. And as I look out in the room, I see some familiar faces. A number of you I've seen before. And I also see many new people. Now, for all of you that are new in this room, this is not the usual business conference.
Here you get information, facts, examples, best practice combined with emotion. And that makes it stick much deeper because it enters my heart and not only my brain.
It's one of the few conferences that combine, if you like, the spiritual side of things, the feminine side of things, with the hardcore business. I've not been to any other conference that opens with music in that kind of way.
How she would prepare the room. Flowers, music.
I would recommend you going to WIN because there's such a helpful, warm, rich field here of different professions, people who really want to not make a difference necessarily for their own sake, but they really want to make a difference. This may sound like maybe a bit hippie-like, but actually to make a difference for the sake of others.
When we start a conference, I always make sure we have music in the beginning and use that as a way to open the people. I think that we have many speakers sharing their stories, but once you have music and art, we can communicate more deeper and open people's heart to different ways. And that's why it's important. One of the things that I hear, and I'm sure if you haven't noticed yet either, there is a big request out there, there is a call for each and every one of us to solve the many challenges of our time, to peace creation, work creation, clean air, clean water. We want to make sure education and happiness is the norm. So over these past 20 years that I worked with women, one of the things that touches me the most is how women are so involved with all of them. It's the love, it's the care that goes into the projects that I think really make the difference. It is not a rule or a need that makes us move. It is more an inspiration, something deeper, meaning. That's what we want.
Kristin and Win team are fully committed to create an amazing context in which all these women leaders can get easily connected. There is something like a welcoming sensation in the air at the conference. It's almost like unconsciously each one of them offers the right light to the other, and if you look at that from a distance, it appears like a web of light. At the opening, Kristin was talking about a call to the world. A call for education, jobs, less hunger and peace. At Win there were so many women who had answered the call and who had decided to take action. And I had the fortune to talk to some of them.
How I can stop that children became orphans? I still wondering why. Why? I will try to make new generation Hutu and Tutsi together.
As ethnic violence exploded across the country, men with machetes invaded and unleashed a nightmare, separating ethnic...
They listened to the call, and they felt as it was a direct request to them.
Imagine, since I opened the hospital, no mother, we are the only hospital in Africa, no mother died during 8 years in giving birth.
This is something that touched me. A beautiful sense of responsibility. To choose to stand with an open heart where the call arises.
And there are many things I don't like in the world, how it is. I can't change all of them, but I try to do a little bit in some of them. One is breaking glass ceilings, because I hate that we still have no gender equality nowhere in the world. There may be differences between here and there, but it's everywhere there's no justice.
We are talking a lot about how to change the world for the better, and everybody has an answer for it. And in reality, who has to change? What is the direction for a real possibility of change?
So just don't forget your visions and have a long breath and still fight for it, because it's not only never too late to become the person you want to be, it's also never too late to build the society you want to live in. You just have to do it yourself.
It was so inspiring to see these women go straight to the point. That what happens in our society and in ourselves has something to do with us. And feeling responsible for that is the first step toward this possibility to create change.
I remember very well after having done a business school that I wanted to be performing, beautiful, good, everything. No? And I remember that every time I felt fragile, because we are human and we feel fragile sometimes, or I felt that I was not able to do something, I tried to hide it. And every time I think Maggie and everyone shares, we try to do something new. When you are a change agent, no matter if it's to change the world or to change a thing, one thing one has to keep in mind that in the process of changing, you lose popularity. You are not popular. The person who are always popular are persons who never risk. If you are always popular, ask to yourself, am I doing the best of my life?
Karen, tell us about International Bridges of Justice.
Can you hear me? Kristiansund?
They can.
Yes. Okay. So, International Bridges of Justice is an organization that I founded 14 years ago, and the purpose of it is to end torture as an investigative tool by placing lawyers early on in police stations and courtrooms. And I know that sounds like a mouthful. And just to back up, from the time I was really young, when I was 8 years old, I started having nightmares. And I was in a room watching someone be tortured. And I would wake up suddenly and suddenly feel like, oh my gosh, it's okay. It's just a nightmare. But I was aware that at that very moment, my nightmare was someone else's reality. This is no longer acceptable in our society. Yeah. We can't say that it's okay to torture. We can't be dead into it. We have to be alive to the pain and stand up and do something to it. There's this poem by Albert Schweitzer, right, from Switzerland. And the poem is, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by the spark of another. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have relit the flame within.
Could it be that women can offer the right light for a different world to appear and be visible?
At WIN, we develop leadership and we empower each other to run business with purpose and also to create careers that matter.
Kristin focuses on how each and every one of us can create a future. This is an important thing for her. I also know that there is a question Kristin has been asking for years. What if politicians and company leaders deeply cared about the well-being of the people? I met many influential people during this journey. Heads of companies, ministers of countries as well, artists, activists, entrepreneurs, and executives. People who made a difference in the world.
I see Kristin as she's really an amazing individual, right? I mean, we all know that. It's not just technically how competent she is. It's not just that she's beautiful. It's not just that she has an amazing presence and can put on a beautiful conference. It is that she has love. I think of Kristin and I see her as an unfailing treasure.
Thank you so much for believing in your vision, believing in your dream, carrying on with it, even though it has been not always easy. She comes from the north and she contains so many nationalities. She's a global citizen in so many ways and such an excellent, I can't even find an adjective for that, but such a brilliant, shining role model for what the conference is about. Thanks a lot, Kristin.
It was an amazing experience. And as everything that has a beginning, it also has an ending.
I know from walking on mountains in particular is that sometimes when you reach the top, it's not finished. You have to walk down. I often associate that with once the conference is finished, it's not really finished for us working on it. So we have to clean up, you have to file things, pay the bills, thank you letters, and
The end of the day, the end of our interview, and I went back to our first time when we met, when she told me about her father, and that it is only a matter of putting everything and everybody in the right light.
it's a way of looking at entire life, really. And as I told you this morning, I grew up in this family of photographers. It is a constant look. It's not even conscious. It's becoming so automatic now. It's just to see the best in people, and also in a, let's say, in a team working together. You can almost have whoever in your team if you just put them in the right roles, and sometimes people.
She has to
may
leave
say,
tomorrow morning for Switzerland, and I asked her about where Win is going. Personally, she's getting her book published, and for Win she told me that she's following strong requests from Japan, Brazil, Singapore and India, a project for young leaders, and the important thing is that she's starting to work more and more together with men.
I think it's very important now, because as we play a leading role in being on the forefront of creating new leadership ways, new ways of organizing ourselves, I think now the best thing if we can do that in partnership, men and women, young and old, and so on. Yeah. So
I think it's great. So let me thank you one more time.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing me this amazing place and light. In quantum physics they say light comes from nothing. It could be also said light comes from darkness. In photography we work with light, no images. It was a long journey, a journey in which I saw new light as a new possibility. A possibility to see not just who we think and who we know we are, but who we are yet to become. And I had the chance to see that only what is not yet visible can transform the visible.
And here at WIN, we talk about the agent of possibility, because if each and every one of us feel confident and find our courage and are supported by the sisters, we heard that last night too, the importance of having support, then we can go out and we give back to the world and we find possibilities for ourselves, but also for others. We become an agent of possibilities. And I want everyone in this room to be an agent of possibility from today. I mean, many of you are already, but those, and I'm sure all of you are in some way or another, but we want more of that.
There has never been a moment better than now to be a woman. I'm convinced that we can create a world in which we all flourish.